So you've taken one of those quizzes, right? And then what you got from the attachment style quiz is that you have an insecure attachment style, whether it be anxious, anxious ambivalent, avoidance, or whatever it is in between. And you want to form a more secure attachment style. Now, is it possible to completely shift your attachment style from something that is insecure to a secure attachment style? Well, in this video, you will find out. Here's the thing with our brains, right? This concept called neuroplasticity has been discovered for a bit of time now, where before we used to believe that once you have a trait that you have been carrying for most of your life, that's set in stone, that you can't change it, right? You know what they say, you can't teach an old dog new tricks. But is that really true? Can you make an old dog learn new tricks? Well, according to neuroplasticity, yes, you can. And what's really interesting is that there has been some research where it actually, even though you have a secure attachment style, it's not set, or an insecure attachment style, I should say. Studies have shown that even if you have an insecure attachment style, you still have the ability to change that around, to shift that into a more secure attachment style, which is good news, right? And so inside the book called The Neuroscience of Human Relationships by Louise Cozolino, he talks about the fact that by our first birthday, we usually have the attachment schema already established in our brains, but this doesn't mean that it's set in stone. What they found is that there's some plasticity and some fluidity within this, because when we grow up, we attach and retouch to different people in our lives, right? So when we're growing up, we attach to our primary caregivers, whether that be our parents or foster parents or whoever we grew up with. And then as we grow up, as we develop through our teenage years, we attach a lot to our peers, right? When we go through our 20s, we start working, we attach and reattach to different people. Then if you meet someone and they become your partner, you get married to them, they become your primary bond. So we attach and reattach to different people in our lives. And, you know, you get married, you have children, you attach to your children differently. Your children have children, you become grandkids, the attachment is different. So long story short, there is a lot of malleability and plasticity in our ability to attach to people, and it's not set in stone. So that is a good thing, right? We can work on this. So how do we do that? What are the things that have been found to actually help us repattern our old attachment styles? So one of the things that we do this is just through experience, right? Through experience with personal relationships. That this is the best way we learn. We learn through our lived experiences, right? And throughout our relationships, whether that be an actual partner, whether it be friends, family, co-workers, and people from the grocery store, right? Those types of relationships. Oh, our relationship with ourselves is a big one as well. When we're able to process and integrate those and become more self-aware, then it helps us to have the ability to know what type of patterns we have, and we can shift it into a more secure attachment style. So if you're someone who tends to be an avoidant type, when you're able to be more self-aware as to the fact that you are avoiding, then you are able to create that self-autonomy within you, as long as it's there, as long as you have the ability, the willingness, and the responsibility to take action for yourself, then you're definitely able to start repatterning, start taking steps to, instead of avoid, face things head on, right? Face your emotions, feel your emotions, and allow yourself to face it head on. I mean, personally, I tend to be a bit of an avoidant, right? And so I was able to really shift that once I was able to unconsciously process whatever it was that was stopping me from feeling secure within myself, because that's what truly it is, right? It's creating safety within ourselves and security within ourselves that we help develop this more secure attachment style. Another thing that we could do is to go to therapy, right? Psychotherapy is there for a reason. We have many modalities of therapy these days, and also a very powerful modality that I'm biased by is, of course, hypnotherapy, right? Which is something that I'm trained in, and working with the subconscious mind to really help integrate what has happened in the past at an unconscious level, so that we can start repatterning and processing that old trauma from the past. Because, having a secure attachment style also has to do with your ability to process and become adaptive and resilient with, traumatic life events, whether it be in the past, but as well as current. And truly, that is what therapy is all about, right? Therapy, it allows you to really process those emotions and come to terms with the things that happened in the past. So you have the choice to now act and behave and identify yourself as someone with a secure attachment style, right? It all comes down to the foundational level of our identity and the beliefs that we have that form our identity, right? And the values that we have. So it's about, self-awareness is a big thing with regards to this. So when you become more self-aware and you're able to look at your own patterns, you now have the choice to shift them. It doesn't have to be that hard. But the thing is, we all have blind spots, right? And that's why therapists are here. That's why coaches are here. And if you are someone who has the ability to receive help from a therapy and a coach with a more solution-based model, then definitely it's really possible for you to rewire those patterns and change those old neural pathways. And this is exactly what I do with my clients, right? I'm trained in a hypnotherapy modality, so it really gets into the subconscious level as to where those behavior patterns originated, as well as, because it's subconscious work, it deeply processes the emotions in their body that have been stored from those previous events to allow it to process, and they come to terms with it. And then at the same time, having that coaching model of being able to be solution oriented in the future, being able to not only address what is happening now and deal with it and neutralize it and process it, but at the same time linking that ability to process into finding resources to ensure that, in the future you start acting in ways that align with what you truly want to be. For example, rewiring codependent patterns into a more secure interdependent relationship, so that, they attract the people and relationships in the future who are going to actually treat them the way they deserve to be treated, right? It's things like that makes this work very powerful. So long story short, it is definitely possible to rewire those old attachment patterns into a more secure attachment patterns. Is it easy? No. If it was, everyone would do it, right? It really takes a lot of willingness on your end to be able to choose yourself, right? To choose yourself and know that you're worth the secure attachment, a secure relationship, and not just for a partner, but secure relationships all around you, with your friends, with your family, and being able to let go of those relationships that don't align with that, right? And being able to really just put yourself first and be able to look at yourself in the mirror and have the courage to look at the past, the courage to look at the old trauma and the old experiences, and choose to not be choose to not be victimized by it, and choose to not allow the old story to become the story in the future, and allow yourself to just write yourself a new story, write yourself new chapters. Because as hard as it is definitely possible. As hard as it is, you don't have to go through it alone, right? And so being able to just look at yourself and get clear and be honest with yourself with what you want, and then take the action steps to become more self-aware and seek the guidance that you need to seek in order for you to be assisted in this really truly fulfilling and transformative journey of having a more secure attachment style. So I hope this helped. Any questions below, happy to answer them, and I will see you soon.